And in the last video, we discussed the concept of void methods, and in today's video, we're going to learn the other type of methods, the non-void methods, aka methods that return a value. So we're in the main class, and we're going to create a method right now, and this is the syntax for creating a non-void method. So we're going to make it public, just so that it can be accessed by any other class or any other object. We're going to make it static, so that we could call this method from the main method. And in void methods, right here is where we would put void. But since this is going to return a value, we put in right here the data type of which we want to return a value of. So if we want to return a value of int, we would put in right here. If we wanted to return a boolean, we would put boolean. If we wanted to return a string, we would put string. So for this example, we're gonna return my age, so we're gonna put int. And now we place the identifier, which is just gonna be the name of the method, and we're gonna call this get age, or better yet, let's just call it return age with empty parameters, and brace it up, and we've created our method. And we get an error here because we have to return a value. It says we have to return a result of type int. And that is because we've declared this method as a method that will return a value of integer by writing it right here. So now that we have the basis of this method, we can type what we want it to return. Now for the sake of simplicity, and I don't want to confuse any of you just yet, we're going to type something very, very, very simple. So since this method needs to return a value of type integer, we're just going to do that. So in order to do that, we type the keyword return. And since this is asking for an integer value, we could return any integer value that we want. And in this instance, it's asking for my age, so 19. And it returns 19, and it gets rid of the error. Now, of course, this can become much more complex with if statements, switch statements, while loops, for loops. But since we haven't learned any of that just yet, we're just going to keep it nice and simple. So now that we've made our method, we could call this method. And you guys already know how to do that because of the last video. So in order to call it, since it's already static and it's in the same class, we could just type it out by calling it, by just typing the name of the method with empty parameters and ending this statement with the semicolon. But if we hit run, it doesn't do anything. Well, that's because we didn't tell it to do anything. All this method does is return a value of 19. So one way we could use this is just by using the system.out.println method. So let's type just that, and then we could type in hello, I am, and then concatenate, followed by a plus, and then we could call the age just by putting the method inside of this. So we could do return age with open parentheses. And now what this is going to do, it's just going to print out a line to the console. It's going to print out hello, I am, and then it's going to concatenate this value, and this will return, well, this will call the method and return a value of 19. So when we run it, it will say hello, I am 19. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little assignment right now, see if you can get it correctly. So just after I tell you the assignment, pause the video, try and get it correctly, try and complete it, and then continue the video and see if you got it right. So this is the assignment. What you have to do is make some more return methods, and I want it to return your name, your weight, and your height. Alright, so pause the video, get that shit done. Okay, so this is what your method should look like. Of course, they are going to vary. Your methods are going to have different names, return different values. But now that you've made these methods, what I want you to do is what we did with the return age. Just make it print out what your height is, what your name is, and what your weight is by calling the method and concatenating it. And if any of you forgot, concatenating just means adding a value to a string as a string. So pause the video, get that done, and return when you're finished. Alright, so I'm assuming that you actually did it and you didn't just keep on watching the video. So it's pretty simple. You just do system.out.println to call that method to print out a line to the console. Then you add in your string, then you do plus, and then you call the method so that it concatenates that value along with the string. So this is pretty much just the basis of making methods that return values. So just a quick overview. In order to assign what data type the method will return, you declare it by typing it right before the name, right before the identifier of that method, and then you have to return a corresponding value that is, of course, the same data type as the one you declared the method to return. And then you could call this method just by typing the name of it followed by parentheses. So that's that. So now we know how to make methods, both void methods and methods that return a value. And in the next video, we're going to talk about creating methods that take in certain values as parameters and uses those variables to perform certain maybe calculations or perform other methods with those variables. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you actually learned something. Until next time.
Peace.